Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And today's Thursday, and I thought we'd go ahead and take a look at the lesson that's assigned for evening prayer from St. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 25, beginning at verse number 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in the vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. And all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and for you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went out to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterwards came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. Now, this is one of those readings on a first read. We think, well, that's really quite rude for them not to share. I mean, after all, if we're looking at it at just face value, a story about people who have enough oil for their lamps, they could share some with the other one and then greet the bridegroom with enough oil at least to get into the house. But of course, this is a parable. This isn't a direct line teaching. This isn't about selfishness. And I've actually heard people get caught up in that. I actually heard a whole sermon where they went on and on and basically contradicted the entire parable and gave a sermon against being selfish. Plenty of opportunities to talk about selfless service. This is not the parable for it, folks. In fact, it's an analogy. Jesus is using a parable to teach about salvation and particularly preparation for salvation, because the end of time will come, whether it be our physical earthly death or the return of Jesus Christ in glorious majesty to judge the living and the dead. We must be prepared. And that's what today's parable is about. The idea, of course, is that we have been invited to the wedding feast. One of the images for heaven is the wedding banquet of the Lamb from the book of Revelation. We've been invited. And so it is that we need to go, but we need to be prepared as well. And so in the case of the 5 wise and the 5 foolish virgins, those who were wise were prepared. They had their souls ready. They cooperated with all that they needed to do, and they bought enough oil, and they were ready to go when the bridegroom came. Those who were foolish, of course, thought maybe I could just glom on and get myself in there with some light based on those who made the preparations. But that wasn't the time nor the place for that to happen. And of course, then they're left scrambling at the very end. They are caught unprepared, and out they went to try to get some oil, and it was too late. So the same will be true with us with physical death. I'm sorry we've had so much to talk about dying this week between All Saints and All Souls and then the big funeral yesterday. But again, this is where we happen to be, just by the luck of it being the 22nd Sunday after Trinity and being Thursday, that this is the lesson that's assigned for today for evening prayer. But it's about being prepared. It's about being ready, because Jesus Christ is coming back. And so we need to be like the wise virgins. Quite frankly, one of the most terrifying lines in Scripture is in this lesson. Because if the analogy, of course, of the bridegroom coming is the return of Jesus Christ, then God forbid, we hear, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. We want to be known of by Jesus. We've been invited by Jesus. Let us be prepared in body and soul for the coming of Jesus Christ, or are going to meet him first. And that, of course, is done by cooperating with his grace and trying to live lives in accordance with his holy will. Today's Thursday, so we do have our 10:30 Holy Communion service today, like we do on Thursdays now in the wintertime, fall and winter. So 10:30, and we'll be followed immediately by benediction, and then 5 p.m. tonight, evening prayer. And I hope that your Thursday is a good day, and may God bless you.